What's the best anime every year? Like, out of all of it, all this, is this it? Or this? How can we objectively know? I mean, we can't, but we do have things like awards, ratings, tea leaves that try to give us some idea of it. So specifically, I've been getting a lot of comments about the anime awards since all that happened with Solo Leveling and Frieren. It's made me want to go into the history of the awards over the years, but also some other prizes and metrics for anime of the year. For a comparison, since there's no objective best anime, we're going to look at 3 subjective metrics for the best anime. Starting with the most relevant right now, the anime awards. Alright. The Anime Awards from Crunchyroll. Each year, a ton of prizes are given out. But Anime of the Year is the main event. It's like the best film at the Academy Awards, the Nobel Prize that they gave to Dylan, or the Doctor Who magazine story poll. You know, it's the big one. It's determined through a mix of votes and judges. Now, any award that bases it on public voting it's open to shenanigans. As of the last big update on the process, the nominees are decided by judges, and then the final result is a 7:30 split after a public vote, with the judges' votes weighing heavier. It's specifically been explained that it's opened up this way to allow a strong fan vote to flip categories and decide winners, while letting smaller anime win in lesser voted categories. This weighting was actually only introduced because of controversy of Yuri on Ice, which, I mean, with the results since, I mean, it feels kind of crazy that was the biggest issue with these awards at one point. And now balancing judges with a popular vote isn't a terrible idea. Like, if you look at awards for a whole medium elsewhere, there's problems with having a panel only. Take the Oscar for animated films. There's an example. I like animated films, yet when it comes to best animated there, everything goes out the window. Members of the Academy don't watch anything, they just vote for Disney. Essentially, a judging panel's opinion is only really worth your opinion of who is voting. But honestly, the Anime Awards aren't the Oscars. They're closer to a Twitter poll. We're looking at the best anime, best in show, which kicked off with 2016's winner Yuri on Ice, followed by Made in Abyss for 2017, Devilman Crybaby in 2018, that was over Violet Evergarden. I mean, most seasons have plenty of fantastic shows, it's not just one, but as we get on, we're going to see the big hitters in terms of raw popularity. They're often the standouts for these awards. These earlier ones feel kind of quaint comparatively. Yuri on Ice is one of the rare anime on here that tops out more than one of the awards we'll be talking about, as is the next winner, 2020's Jujutsu Kaisen. And then we get Attack on Titan, Cyberpunk before this again, which is fine. I mean, it's a good show and a strong season. It was up against Boki the Rock, Oshinoko, Chainsaw Man, Vinland. No, I mean Boki, that's what I'm talking about here. I guess I just liked Boki. And I guess the complaint that the Anime Awards often comes down to is that there's always a reason why your favourite deserved it, no matter what wins, which means a lot of controversy over results when we have a year as big as 2024. That's where Solo Leveling won. You probably saw it, I'm pretty late. In a year that included Frieren, Apothecary Diaries, Dan Dungeon Meshi, Frieren, Kaiju number 8, Frieren. I mean, look how stacked this year was. Any of these could have been cool. Now, Solo Leveling was the breakout hit, and it cut through to a wider audience. I mean, that little show about the elf wasn't exactly unpopular either. There is a factor to consider with it though, which can illuminate some of the problems with the awards being taken seriously. A small section of fans have a weird relationship with Crunchyroll likes. I mean, that's along with an even smaller section having a weird relationship with character development. A section of the fan base was very passionate about its Crunchyroll like numbers, so I'm guessing they really got the vote out. That's not a dig, it's impressive organisation, and it's by design that this kind of stuff weighs heavily in the Anime Awards. It's kind of the point of a public vote. It's just down to how much stock you really put in the Anime Awards as a whole. I'm not even going to talk about some of the other awards, but the soundtrack one for 2024, I mean, that was absurd. Evan Cole's soundtrack was robbed. So was the William Hell Overture from Dan. That deserved its own special separate award for best individual banger. The Anime Awards have a flavour. At times, it's been asserted that this flavour is Weekly Shonen Jump. Now, Jump makes the biggest slice of the most popular anime, so a bigger slice of, awards is to be expected too. But if we look at winners, actually only a third of them have been Jump, and 2 of them were this guy. In nominations in 2024, just over 20% of the nominees were Jump titles, but they did receive over 40% of the nominations, individual nominations. Now, that figure is, I think, quite skewed from all the international voice performance nominations. It's a lot of the same characters each time. Dan got loads there, and I think those kind of bring up the average beyond what a fair number would be. But I mean, look at its circulation, look at the biggest anime franchises. If Jump is this much of the ecosystem, then maybe it makes sense for it to be this much of the awards. I think if anything, there's not that many Jump considering how popular Jump manga tends to be. And with Jump Plus, what a Jump manga is just getting wider and wider. I think an award like this has the same problems that most awards that attempt this kind of scale have, though. It's supposedly for a full medium and not a genre. So anime isn't a genre, it's a medium. A common criticism you see from those who don't watch any is that every anime is the same genre as its most popular franchises. Although these days I think most people under 50 at least give a caveat for Studio Ghibli and that kind of stuff. Something like the Anime Awards, or frankly any other broad awards, is really trying to bridge a very wide gap. Can you take a medium and objectively rank everything? Nah, not really, there's just preference. An award that tries to span every genre and find the best will often end up just awarding a specific sub-genre. I mean, look at awards for films, and we even call a genre of them bait for awards at this point because of it. The Anime Awards, to its credit, doesn't only look at one type. I think it does go a bit wider than it could. But some genres are more represented, and that's probably more reflective of the audience than anything else. The Anime Awards, though, does self-select for a specific viewpoint. We've got the judges who pick the nominees, but the public popularity part of the vote is down to which anime watchers are more engaged with voting for this kind of stuff. With some years you feel a lot more than others. If a dedicated fanbase can flip a vote, it's kind of like asking the internet to name a boat. I think it's notable the only anime to ever get 2 wins was this one. A show being voted #1 in an online poll is kind of just a competition in which fanbase is the most dedicated, which isn't really a marker of quality to me. Like seeing how often BTS trend doesn't make me want to get into BTS just because their fan base is very motivated online. Their Fortnite emote makes me want to get into BTS. And now Solo might have won the Anime of the Year here, but Frieren did get an award win somewhere else. So if we're looking at these best anime kinds of things, I don't think it's fair to exclusively focus on the international market. When there's a domestic award show, which is pretty prestigious on its own. So we're also going to look at the Tokyo Anime Awards. The Tokyo Anime Awards are longer running award shows. They're quite different to the Crunchyroll ones. They have an open entry award, which aims to bring in amateurs, up-and-comers, and as of yet, non-commercialized projects. It's put on by a wider group, which includes the Association of Japanese Animators. If we're looking for an anime award show that's closer to, an industry award honoring the standouts, this one probably hits closer to that than the Crunchyroll one does. Initially, the awards would highlight a few works in each category, and then a standout of the notable works or best entries. So in 2013, Millennium Actress was that, but there was also Cat Returns and Shin-Chan. An Animation of the Year eventually popped up though, with stuff like House in 2005 and this Full Metal movie in 2006. Wait, I actually haven't seen this. Like, I read that weird Wii game prequel that stops all momentum when you're reading the collected volumes like 6 times. I've never bothered checking for anything like this. Is this film that good? I gotta go watch that. Anyway, then The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, which is also fantastic. There's more. Some interesting ones too, like Evangelion winning for its first rebuild, Summer Wars, pretty much every Ghibli, which isn't that surprising. So in 2014, we start to get a television category. Thankfully, because I don't think anything could stand up to The Wind Rises otherwise. Just 2 years ahead of the Anime Award launching, Attack on Titan won in 2014. And then we got these for the next few years. And alright, let's just stop it there for a second. Yuri on Ice, you have straddled the divide, you have won across East and West, you champion, you king amongst men. And then in 2018, Kimono Friends, that took the award too. And then Lee's Jujutsu joins Yuri on Ice up there as a consensus pick across both awards. You are also a king amongst men, I guess. Another big one. Oh, and in the film category, Weathering With You won in its year, which I know is not the most relevant thing, but I really like Weathering With You. It's better than Your Name. Anyway, all fairly popular stuff, but a bit more variety. Then we've got Frieren in the most recent year. It's not that this is completely different to the winners in the Anime Awards. Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, they've all won both. But in the face of the wealth of fantastically layered anime in the last year, it wasn't solo leveling. I think this list of winners is a bit more inclusive of the wider array of genres and feel that anime can have. It's not just the same old thing. I mean, yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen quite rightly got a nod in its year, but since then we've had birth rate propaganda, idols, and sad elves. Part of this might be down to separating out the most popular from the highlight, because the Tokyo Anime Awards also has a fan award and a best anime. It's a way to allow a popular choice along with, in quotes here, best. Fan award has had some cool results too. I'm not going to read them all out, but hey, here they are. And Yuri on Ice for 2017 and 2018, wow. Like with the Anime Awards, where you see certain things are strong in the fan vote. Here it's Idolish 7, an engaged fan base, getting the vote out. You love to see it, and I have not seen Idolish 7, but people seem to like it. Oh, and the Tokyo Anime Awards actually have an international award, which went to Pixar. years straight until Kung Fu Panda existed. If we're looking at the best anime of a year, I think this is a good system to do the popular vote and a best award. And then, of course, another international award in case there's anything about a panda that's come out. Both for an accomplishment, and it allows a wider group to get the focus. Okay, so the pure vote for most popular, that's one thing, but we've got one more measurement I want to look at, which isn't quite an award, but it is a reflection of what some anime fans think is the best of a year. And if we're talking about a popularity contest, well, yeah, this is certainly one of those. My Anime List, it's a ranking website, well known for its Full Metal love affair. It's a useful tool for tracking what you watch and rating it. The charts are debatably useful, but as a pure popularity thing and beyond just being, do you like this, yes or no, it's at least supposed to reflect a quality with a score in theory. Since it's a rating and not just, pick which you personally like the most. Something like My Anime List is a great indicator of what a certain segment of anime watchers like, but it's not even representative as a popularity vote, because it self-selects for those who want to rate an order. There's plenty of people who don't use it. I don't bother. I write my thoughts on individual anime episodes in Sharpie on newspapers, which I wrap up like birthday presents and leave in public places. It's just what sensible people do. If we want to look at a comparison for these awards, we can go year by year. My Anime List has a similar audience to the Anime Awards, so let's start where they do. 2016. Now, I don't know how to filter by year, so I've grabbed the 4 seasons list and just measured out the scores to bring out a top 10. I hope that works. The top 10 for 2016 are a solid mix. Now, we're 9 years out. There's quite a few of these that I think still get talked about as standouts, just huge to this day. One thing is missing though, Yuri on Ice at 7.9. It actually only got to 7th for its season, and it doesn't place overall for the year. So while it won the other two in the popularity poll and the Tokyo Anime Awards, it's weak here. In 2017, we have a number 1, a My Anime List classic. And then there's also March Comes In Like a Lion and others. It seems the weighting of votes here ends up a bit different. Then 2018 is this stuff, and then Attack on Titan, Violet Evergarden, and of course Devilman Cry. The Anime of the Year award doesn't come close. Next up, Attack on Titan comes in first, Mob Psycho 2, and then Vinland Saga next, and Promised Neverland just below the very top spots. We did get some more varied entries, but I think My Anime List has a clear kind of taste. 2021, there's more seriousness. Laid Back Camp turns up nicely though. 2022, Thousand Year War, very good. Boki is getting no respect once again. 2023, we get a big change for the overall rankings. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, Apothecary Diaries, both the top 2. One even dethrones Full Metal on the overall list, for the long haul. So the Leveling came in below the top 10 for My Anime List. It clocked in at 8.25. But the average results were high for this year. It was a very competitive year. Probably would have made top 10 if it was a little weaker. One trend that's kind of noticeable is that more serious stuff, or things that approach something heavier in an easy to access way, that might do better, at least when it comes to My Anime List and to an extent the Anime Awards. Both seem to have a preference for it. I like most of the anime I'm talking about here, so don't interpret it as an attack on seriousness, but I think it's notable, and looking at these results, it's kind of helped me recognize something about how I look at anime too in that. If there's something which aims for a harder hitting plot and gets it right, I think it stands out more than a great comedy or something better but light. I guess it is understandable. It's why we have the cliche of dark subject matter films being more important. And yeah, it's one of those bias things, I think. Maybe I wouldn't put some of the more recent fun comedies above the more serious shows either, but I definitely got more out of Boki or the Lum remake or even the Deer Show than things I'd rank higher, although the Deer Show did really drop off in the middle. Going through the Wayback Machine for the historic rankings. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, at one point I spent a very long time going through years of snapshots, charting the top spot and all the challenges to go with it, and for a while that was the whole video, just months of commentary on how many reviews Full Metal had gotten and its minor change in score percentage. Before realizing how boring that was, abandoning it, and not thinking about this video again until some people had some fun comments about the Anime Award results. Yeah, going through, I think I like these rankings more than I used to. I've made references to them before in videos as an easy, hey look, public opinion, but I've never really put much stock in them. I think the main drawback is that it's a rating system where a specific audience is voting and one kind of taste wins out, but that's kind of democracy. Unlike the Anime Awards, it doesn't pretend to be anything more than it is. Just like looking through the Tokyo Anime Awards, my watch list has gotten a lot longer. There were titles that I never got around to when there's just so much good stuff every season, but they're back on top of my list now. As an absolute rating or a real judge of quality, this is a terrible tool, but it's something to say, well, 500,000 people all think this is really, really cool. Why don't I give it a go? Yeah. I get it. Whereas, and to be honest, this might be more on me, the anime awards have never made me want to check something out. The thing is, what's a 9 out of 10 to you? What's the anime of the year to you, or me? What's a 7 out of 10 to everyone? Is it an IGN 7, a Roger Ebert 4 out of 5? You like what you like, and the scores are all relative. Maybe the popularity system isn't the best way of measuring what the best anime of a year is, or the best anime of all time, because it's too personal. I didn't like Solo Leveling the best out of all the anime of that year, but plenty of people do, and it's definitely the widest hit of the year. It's gotten a bigger audience interested, and that's never a bad thing. I don't have enough to say about it for a whole video, but I see why it won. I just have never really taken the anime awards all that seriously. There isn't an anime of the year, it's whatever you enjoyed the most in a given year. For me, that was probably Frieren, but I enjoyed a lot of stuff. It was a really solid year, and this one's shaping up pretty nicely too, by the way. Is Frieren the best anime of all time? I mean, I like it a lot, but it's not over yet though. Plus, I think we're all ignoring the obvious here. Does Fullmetal Alchemist have a white-haired twink existing for minutes and becoming an icon forever? There's a waifu fight about Frieren still ongoing years and years after release. Did the original author of Yuri on Ice have to make 4 damn movies just to get to an ending where they tell the audience to move on and touch grass that's been 20 years already? No, but Rent a Girlfriend probably will. It's Rent a Girlfriend, or old episodes of Rent a Girlfriend. That's... Hey, thanks for watching. If you got all the way through, there's a sub button. You know, you want to see some more. You know how it works. All right, cheers.